Hi, my name is Anshul Malhotra, and today I'm going to be talking about what I learned in this chapter of reading and the essays that we were assigned. So to start off, in this chapter, we learned how to read rhetorically and basically got a better understanding of how to analyze a passage while reading it. And I learned that in order to read analytically, that we have to establish the purpose, the audience, the persona, the tone, the evidence, structure, and strategies. And once we've completed all these steps, we're able to get a better understanding of what's being discussed in all the passages we read. So I was able to use all these steps that I learned about in the chapter in the essays that we were required to read, and because of that I was able to get a better understanding of what I was reading. To start off, in Overselling Capitalism by Barber, we learned about capitalism, and I was able to come up with the conclusion that he's basically telling us that because of capitalism we have too many goods, and a quote from his passage said that capitalism requires us to need all that it produces in order to survive. We see all these products coming out and instantly we want them, and it's a continuous cycle. And it really focuses on the needs of the wealthy people, like people who can afford the products, as opposed to the wants of people who don't have as much money. And the needy people, basically the wealthy people who want all these things, is what's keeping capitalism alive and keeping the cycle going. And if it wasn't for that, then we would be able to slow it down. I also learned that capitalism really targets kids, because as more products are being made, kids and teens and younger audiences are more likely to go around and just spend their money on any product that they think is interesting, as opposed to adults who have been around longer and have had more experience with these situations. And in the second essay, with these words, I can sell you anything. I thought it was really interesting reading that right after the previous one, because all these products, it all comes down to advertisement and how they actually sell the product. So in this essay, we learned a lot about weasel words, which basically are words that can be perceived in different ways. So what may mean something to the person selling the product could mean something totally different to the person buying a product, and which is why they go out there and actually buy the product, and they make it seem a lot more dramatic than it actually is. And because of that, we as consumers tend to get sucked into a deeper hole by these manufacturers. And it's also because we don't know any better, because all these manufacturers are doing the exact same thing to get money from us. And some of the examples that he provided of words that we see commonly are virtually, new and improved, acts fast, and like magic. And so I came to the conclusion from reading this that it's really important to think about the true meaning of each word that we see in an advertisement before we purchase anything. Otherwise, again, the cycle will just continue, and these people are going to make profits off a lot of times products that don't work or don't benefit us in any way. And in the next essay called Toys, we learned about how children's toys are essentially just models of the adult world, and I had never really thought of it that way, but after reading this, I was able to realize that it is really true. We commonly see kids play with kitchen sets or doctor sets or even remote control cars, and these are all things that we do when we're older. We cook, we drive, a lot of people want to become doctors, career choices, and these products or these toys don't really help children improve their creativity skills, and a lot of them end up having like a creativity block when they're older. And so how it's beneficial for a lot of these kids to use blocks and wooden toys to create something, because it's more beneficial to them in the future when it comes to creativity and being innovative with things, especially in the workplace. And then the next essay, Craving the Other, made me realize, and what I learned from it was that people are very quick to judge others' cultures, especially when it comes to food. And I've also noticed it, especially with young children. It's happened to me growing up in elementary school. So meals that normally, and now looking at it, a lot of these restaurants will take those meals and turn it into something completely new. And so meals that would normally be a couple dollars and considered authentic are now being sold for almost 3 times the price, and usually at higher end restaurants, and with changed recipes. They call it fusion or more high end. So it's basically like, she called it sort of mimicking the recipe, and it really makes you question the intentions behind changing the recipes, because if the rest, like, a lot of people like will like a certain dish from a culture, but if they say it's that good, then why have to go change it and sell it for a more expensive price? And then in the next one, in praise of chain stores, she basically talked about how big chains and companies are driving a lot of the smaller mom and pop stores out of business, and there's really no uniqueness anywhere. There's no character, there's no variety, because all these shops are the same no matter basically what city you go to and what mall you go to. And people want to basically just shop at these stores just to say they've shopped there, because they see all their friends doing it and they see it in the media, and they don't really care about the product or what they're buying. And honestly, in a lot of cases, a lot of people don't want what they actually have or what they actually ended up buying, so it ends up being a waste of money, and people like to just hop on a bandwagon. And finally, in the last essay, the hard sell, advertising in America, it made me think about how advertisement of a product, it's really all about perception. So it's the photography goes into it, the name goes into it, the packaging, and it all has to cater to a certain audience. So some audiences aren't going to like the way you advertise a product, and others will. So it's all about perception, and this can really make or break a company. And I also realized that for a lot of these companies, to them, telling the truth about a product doesn't matter. And this ties into the other essay about the words, is that they'll use any words that have sort of a double meaning or different perceptions in order to sell their product and get into the heads of these consumers, and this ties in really well with that. Thank you.